Hey, I'm Tanner. Welcome to Call of Duty Black Ops, where the missions are illegal and the war crimes are even more so.
We didn't start the fire, it was always burning since the world's been turned.
This game came out in 2010, before all the exo jumps and loot boxes. The worst thing that could happen was getting drop-shotted. But we're not here for the multiplayer, we're here for the campaign. Meet Alex Mason. He's being interrogated by someone we don't know yet. Something about numbers that have been haunting him for the past few years, and he decides to start his story in Cuba during the Bay of Pigs. Mason is a member of a Black Ops task force called SOG. His brothers in arms are Woods and Bowman. Woods is the brawn with a fuck off attitude and the you can't kill me mentality. Bowman is... You're in Cuba trying to gather information in order to assassinate Fidel Castro. The game takes place after World War II and during the Cold War, by the way. I think, unless I'm getting my timeline mixed up. At a bar, you get intel from a bartender and he lets you rappel into the hot zone by using one of his plantations nearby. He gives you a map and the Cuban military walks in acting like they own the place, so SOG decides to teach him what the fuck is up, Kyle.
Hey man, looks like you need a drink! Oh shit!
And then they eventually skip town via truck. Eventually, it's time to execute the plan. Rappel down from the plantation and infiltrate Fidel Castro's hideout.
Fidel Castro? More like Infidel Castro. Oh shit!
Make your way through, and there he is. He's holding a woman hostage, so you pass him away. For some reason, the girl tries to cap you after executing him, but Woods doesn't give a fuck. Anyway, that's about it. Big Bad Dead, game done. No, not really. Mason, Woods, and Bowman need to escape. So they get to a military runway and try to steal one of the Cuban planes. Some guns and trucks are blocking off the runway, so Mason sacrifices himself so he can get Woods and Bowman out of there. Mason is captured and wait a minute, we killed you! Castro hands you to the real big bad of this game, Dragovich. He gets real close and kills Mason. Nah, not really. He takes him to Russia, where Mason is held prisoner in a place called Vorkuta. Here you meet Victor Reznov, Mason's best prison friend. Clearly. Nah, this fight is staged to get the guard to walk in so they can knock him out and steal his keys. And this is the iconic prison break scene. The escape plan has a few different steps.
Is step 1! Secure the keys! Step 2! 3!
My buddy's alone! Leave him alone!
5! Secure the keys!
Wield the fist of iron.
Step 8, Reznov!
I know it.
Freedom!
These steps are actually referenced in Black Ops 2's final DLC for zombies. But we won't be talking about zombies. Much. While escaping, you meet Big Boy Sergey. Watch him die, get sad, have a memorial, maybe even a funeral if you have time. But you don't, and now you're almost out. But as you jump onto the train, Reznov leaves you with a final goodbye.
Your turn! Come
on, Reznov.
Step 8, Reznov!
I know it.
Freedom! For you, Mason! Not for me! Reznov!
Mason thought he was going to escape with him, but he didn't make it. I am calling bullshit. An Olympic medalist couldn't make that jump, let alone a guy who's been rotting in prison. Anyway, you make it to the US and get a CIA handler named Hudson. He takes you to the Pentagon to meet Mr. Don't Peek the Sniper president.
Is this where y'all can see my search history? I'm fucked, aren't I?
You get these intrusive thoughts about not even letting the president peek the sniper and blickying him yourself.
Mr. President, I'm going goblin mode.
But of course, they're intrusive thoughts and you don't let those win. Most of the time. He assigns you to kill
Dragovich.
Dragovich is allegedly at the Ascension site where the Russians are trying to send nukes to the US. Where exactly, I don't remember. You get a guy on the inside named Weaver. Weaver is a Russian that defected to the US and is trying to sabotage the rocket. You get there with Woods, everyone's favorite boy toy. But Weaver is compromised. That's big boy words for getting found out. But you get in and save him, but not before he loses an eye. You actually get to witness that with mild censorship.
Yeah, I don't think LASIK or glasses are gonna help with that, bud.
He didn't have time to sabotage the rocket, so as you're about to break into the control room, I let my intrusive thoughts win.
Mason, blow a hole in that fucking wall.
Yeah.
Set.
Hey, Woods, watch this shit.
Scientists are dead, so you have to blow up the rocket with an RPG. At the end of the mission, they declare Dragovich dead with nothing but a picture of a burning car. Mason wants to confirm the kill, but Woods convinces him not to, and oh, how wrong he was! We still have like 3 hours of gameplay left, buddy. Moving into Vietnam, how the fuck did we get here? Some copyrighted Fortunate Son plays while the US base gets invaded.
Come on! Ain't the flag!
Fuck. Defend from the Viet Cong until you foil the invasion. You're flown into Hue City to meet with a Russian defector that has information on Dragovich. At some point they learned that he was still alive. The defector was allegedly dead, but Mason needed that fucking dossier. Your helicopter is instantly shot down and you miraculously land into a burning building. Wild discombobulated, wow, that's a big word for me. Woods kills a soldier and you get to have fun with a Warcrime stick, also known as the Spaz 12 with Dragon's Breath rounds. Make your way through and find out that the Russian defect is Reznov? He joins you, Woods and Bowman, but the other two don't really say anything about it. You defend your military friends while they evac via helicopter, while you, Woods and Bowman, and Reznov, evac via boat. While on this boat, Reznov stares at you lustfully. Next mission is actually very special. This mission is called Numbers, and I spent a very long time on it for one reason: an Easter egg. This time you don't play as Mason, a bold choice by the devs, but you play as Hudson, the CIA handler assigned to Mason. He's with Weaver trying to interrogate a scientist named Clark. Clark knows about a chemical weapon that the Russians want to use on the US. During the interrogation, the Russians find where you are, so you fight with Clark and get away. Now this is the part where I spent around 15 minutes trying to get a stupid cassette tape. There are canisters in this room that you need to blow up and leak gas out of. I don't know where they are, I just kept yucking nades and shooting until eventually I got the cassette tape. Maybe? Yes! Once we jump over to a different roof, we find that this scientist is strangely well prepared with a hidden armory behind a fridge. Although when you enter the armory with said cassette tape and you put it into this player, you get something very special.
Hello, you.
Oh, buddy, we got the Thunder Gun in a Call of Duty campaign. During the mission, you can actually hear zombies screaming as well.
Oh.
Anyway, keep trying to escape with Clark, and remember at the very beginning of the video when I mentioned Mason and numbers that have been going on in his head? Clark reveals that those numbers are being broadcast somewhere, and before he tells you where, he gets the JFK experience.
Damn.
You escape with Weaver, and now we get some backstory with Reznov. You play as Reznov when he was a soldier in World War II. You are under Dragovich's command. You're on your way to a military base to capture a German scientist named Steiner. Steiner is defecting to Russia so he can make a chemical weapon for the Russians. A weapon potentially greater than the nuclear bomb. This weapon is called Nova 6. After capturing this scientist, he takes you where there is some stored. It's a frozen German ship, and Dragovich is an evil little bastard, and he wants to see how the chemical works in action. He takes Reznov's group and he splits them into two cells. One is instantly gassed. Reznov watches his best friend die in front of him.
Wow, COVID symptoms look a little different than I remember.
He's about to be gassed as well until the British storm the ship and blow up the door that he's in. The British are trying to take the chemical for themselves. Sounds like history is repeating itself again.
Come on, you British bastards, don't you have enough stolen shit in your museums?
You escape and blow up the ship, leaving no trace of Nova 6, until eventually you're caught and put in Vorkuta. After a recovery period, Mason, Woods, and Bowman, and apparently Reznov, are headed north when their helicopter is shot down by the Viet Cong. It crash lands in a river, and while Mason is struggling to get the door open, Reznov opens it outside with ease, somehow. So they take down some Viet Cong and plant some C4 around a village as a distraction. But as soon as they set it off, they go guns blazing, so there is no more stealth. Fight your way through, and then you're forced to go into a Viet Cong tunnel system. You're sent with a soldier named Swift, and hey, he's named, so he's not gonna die, right?
So, Swift. Like Taylor Swift. Oh, fuck!
Oh, by the way, you were sent to this place to find intel on Dragovich, Steiner, and Kravchenko. Since you're in this hole with Swift, at some point you hear a noise and then Reznov appears, but Swift actually gives you a hint as to what's actually going on when you're talking to Reznov.
What the fuck's wrong with you? Mason, you gotta keep your shit.
He's killed due to this distraction, much like Sergei, yes, very sad. But a little farther ahead you find Kravchenko's hideout, but he already ditched it. He knew you were coming. And he rigged the place to explode to bury everything along with you in it. You narrowly escape and have to jump into a helicopter that Woods and Bowman have commandeered. Very epic. Next mission, a plane carrying Nova 6 was shot down, so you, Woods, and Bowman are headed out to collect it. You hop on a random boat with a random gunner.
SOG, right?
Cream your jorts later, kid, we've got shit to do.
This mission was fun, but with a sad ending. The gunner is shot and killed. Mason swears that Woods was crying, but he would never let anyone see any tears. You get to the plane, but it's in a very precarious spot.
What's with this Wile E. Coyote placement? Shut up, Tanner, no one knows what that is anymore.
While trying to defend the position, the plane falls and SOG team is captured by Dragovich and Kravchenko. With SOG team MIA, that's missing in action, Hudson is forced to look for Nova 6 himself, so he's out in the mountains in Yamatsu. Wherever the fuck that is. Oh, it's the USSR. At first you play as some space pilot that's giving you intel through the very thick snow. And every once in a while, once there was contact, you went down and played as Hudson and did the fight, which I thought was a really cool idea, but it was kind of slow. Anyway, at this base you come across a station with a map of the US with targets all over it.
We got it. The locations for the next Taylor Swift tour.
Dragovich and his crew have already rigged the place to explode. It's revealed that Dragovich has sleeper agents all over the US waiting for his orders. Steiner reveals that he's at Rebirth Island because Dragovich is trying to cut off loose ends, so he decides to help the Americans. How is he gonna help? Well, he knows where the numbers are being broadcast from. Back to SOG team in Vietnam. They were captured by Viet Cong and forced to play Russian roulette. After refusing to play, a big Russian dude beats the shit out of Bowman with a lead pipe. No, I'm not gonna show this, but you can hear the fear, panic, and pure fucking rage that's in Mason's voice.
Bowman! Ah! Bowman! You fucking son of a bitch!
They take Bowman's body away and bring in Woods. To give Mason some time to think, he takes the gun to his head and... But Mason needs to go soon. He gives Woods the clock positions of enemies, and as he's about to pull the trigger...
I know I'm playing Russian roulette, but this feels like cheating.
They steal a Russian hind and take it to where Kravchenko is hiding out. While you're fighting through some troops with another Warcrime stick known as a flamethrower, Reznov at some point appears, and as Mason talks to him, Woods gives you another hint as to what's really going on. Mason gets to where Kravchenko's hiding, but once he enters the room, as he's about to die, Woods just fucking... A figure appears in front of Mason, and at first it sounds like Woods, but it just happens to be Reznov. Mason and Reznov stow away on a Connex container and make their way to Rebirth Island, where Dragovich is mass-producing Nova 6.
This feels like that scene from Madagascar where all the animals talk to each other through the boxes on the ship.
Stealth your way into the labs until eventually stealth is no longer an option. At some point, Hudson gets on the radio and for some reason knows Mason's there and tries to negotiate with him. They find Steiner and Reznov executes him while giving his grandiose speech.
My name is Victor Reznov.
As Hudson and Weaver break into the room that they're in. The next mission is actually the same thing except from Hudson and Weaver's perspective. As they roll in on tanks, the Russians deploy Nova 6, so the gas masks and thermals go on. Eventually they get to the facility where Mason and Reznov are, but from this perspective, there is no Reznov. Only Mason in Russian clothing. And instead of Reznov giving this grandiose speech, it's actually just Mason.
Name is Victor Reznov.
Oh, your name's Mason.
My revenge! Mason, no!
You're back in the interrogation room where it's revealed that Hudson and Weaver were the ones interrogating you the whole time.
Hey, Hudson.
Get out of here, Weaver. Tell them I failed.
You want to die with him? Your choice.
They explain that you were brainwashed in Vorkuta. The numbers are actually messages that are being transmitted to the sleeper agents. Reznov died while trying to escape Vorkuta, allegedly at this part. Hudson lets Mason out and instantly decks him! As he's trying to escape, he's starting to piece everything together. While being brainwashed, Reznov put his influence in there to kill Steiner, Dragovich, and Kravchenko, all while seeing hallucinations of Reznov. Remember that soldier in Vietnam that died in the tunnels with Mason? He died because he was distracted with Mason talking to himself. Remember at Kravchenko's hideout? Woods commented on Mason talking to himself. Mason was programmed to be able to decipher this numbers code, and at some point he even mentions that Oswald was compromised. As in Lee Harvey fucking Oswald? But while walking through the Pentagon, his head clears and he's instantly decked by Hudson. Mason and Hudson finally are able to talk it out, and Mason finally is able to decipher the numbers. The numbers say that they're being broadcasted from a ship called the Rusalka. Now let me bring you back to the beginning of the game where Mason is first captured and being gifted to Dragovich. Look at the ship in the background. You see the name of it? Don't you just love it when a game goes full circle? Now it's time for the last mission. Well, second to last. Mason and Hudson lead a strike team to invade the Rusalka.
When did I start playing War Thunder? I feel like I should leak classified military documents.
They can't find the broadcast anywhere, but that's only because the ship is the means of broadcast. It's not the source. Well then, where is it? In the ship, you find a moon pool, which is a little area where submarines can dock into a ship. They need to go deeper, so they swim down and find an underwater broadcast station. Make your way to the control room, and as you're about to climb up, Dragovich walks toward you.
saw you spawn in.
You should have been my
And as he's about to shoot Mason, Hudson shoots him with a FAMAS. How is he alive? Dragovich shoots back, but he's fucking terrible and misses. Mason grabs him and pulls him down with him. Dragovich is submerged, and Mason gets a few comments about how he tried to make him kill his own president. Tried? Excuse me? After killing him, you somehow had the lung capacity to swim all the way up. I'm pretty sure the pressure would fuck with you, but what do I know? As you resurface, you get this epic scene of the US Navy taking control of the area.
Oh, American military.
During the credits, while the numbers are being said and recorded, Mason remembers Texas for some reason. It shows JFK walking through with Mason in the crowd. Is this implying that Mason assassinated JFK? Wow, that sentence is, I feel like, putting me on a watch list. And that's about it. No, not really. You're put into a conference room with JFK, McNamara, Fidel Castro, and Richard Nixon. And do I really need to explain what's going on?
Sounds like someone breaking in. Just a storm, Dick. Sit down.
Yes, instantly after the campaign, you get the Zombies map 5 and it throws you in. I'll spare you the details of my run, but I'll just say I got to round 30 with 100,000 points, and I'll tell you what, the zombies didn't kill me.
But these zombies ain't killing me.
That's an order.
And that's actually about it. Now I know I've been saying this in most of my videos, but this game really was a huge part of my childhood. I remember walking into my parents' room and just watching my dad play it. And when I was old enough to play it myself, I was absolutely terrified of the zombies mode. And when I got older and over that stupid fear, I loved seeing how long I could survive. And now, replaying at 21, understanding everything that the story had to offer, and remembering all the things was just a blast. Of course, in every one of my videos, I leave out details just in case you want to play the game. That way you get a little bit of a surprise and I'm not spoiling everything. I make these videos so you can go back, play these games, relive memories, and if you didn't have any memories to relive, make new ones. But buy these games, play them yourself. Treyarch doesn't make games like this anymore. But Black Ops 6 does look promising. Anyway, thank you all very much for watching, and join me next time when I still have no idea what the fuck I'm gonna do. Or play Black Ops 2. Something about numbers that have been pawned. Holy shit. His brothers in arms are Mason. Oh shit. His brothers in. Okay, hold on. Reset. Whoops. That would suck. Alright. At a bar. Oh, shit. Oh my god. This fucking contact. Fuck. You're flown into Way City. This sucks. You defend your military friends to evac while you, Mason. He's with Weaver trying to interrogate us. Interrogate? But as soon as they set it off, they go guns blazing, so the element of surprise. Oh shit, no, they have the elements of surprise. Mason and Hudson lead a strike team to assault the